Om Idam Chasana Sutra Patanjali Guru Namaha. Om Idam Chasana Sutra Patanjali Guru Namaha. Om Idam Chasana Sutra Patanjali Guru Namaha. Om Ananda Mandala Aradam Sanjena Jalatam Yapam Darshan Darshan Shri Om Gangade Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namaha. Om Shri Sudaya Namaha. Om Narayana Narayana Namaha. Om Vivekananda Jadurao Namaha. Om Vivekananda Om Idam Chasana Krishna Kanchari Panchadevata Namaha. Om Idam Chasana Krishna Kanchari Panchadevata Namaha.
Book. Suprabhat.
Dear devotees and friends, the outside it looks so bright, but so deceiving, it's so cold outside. My God. But still, so many of you have come and you are coming, and that shows that the attraction of the Mother, the spirituality, the purity, the love, that is always attracting us. Whatever may be the external weather, but we should go to our Mother, to our spirituality. Now before I start, let us offer pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda. Please repeat after me. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vikraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamityam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Then Ma Sarada Devi. Jatha Vidhi Tahika Shakti Ram Krishne Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidya Sarupam Tam Saradam Pranamamyaham Saradam Pranamamyaham. Swami Vivekananda. Parutatve Sadalino Ramakrishna Samagaya Yudharma Sthapanarato Viresham Tam Namamyaham Viresham Tam Namamyaham. Friends, devotees, today, as because it is a mother, the mother's daughter should do. Why all the time I child, right? And so I have invited Indra Mukherjee. She is from the Nepalville, and she is the wealth management tech industry. She will serve as the MC. in learning this.
Hello. So I'll start with Namaskar and good morning. I'm Indrani Mukherjee, and today it is my honor to welcome you all to these auspicious occasions as we observe Sarada Tithi, the birthday of our Holy Mother. So let us begin with offering our pranam to Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and our Guru Maharaj Swami Ishatmananda ji. I extend my heartfelt respect and warm regards to all the devotees and guests today gathered, and that to one of those severe winter days in Chicago, and that is what calling outside temperature is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, so crazy winter day. Looking forward for today's program. So let us check the schedule. We are blessed today to have 3 distinguished speakers who will reflect on the virtues of austerity, compassion, and self-control as beautifully manifested in the life of our Holy Mother. We are also blessed that we'll have an opportunity from Swamiji to sing along with him for prayer songs, and we have a singer today, Mohua Shankar. We will get a chance to listen from her. So before I proceed, let us briefly reflect the ideology and teaching of Ma Sarada. So the joy of life is centered from motherhood, and that is what we are celebrating today. Holy Mother devoted her entire life to guiding others through quiet strength, unconditional love, and deep spiritual discipline. Her life reminds us that true greatness lies not in power, but in patience, humility, and selflessness. She believed that every individual, regardless of background and circumstances, deserved compassion and dignity. Her message was simple yet profound. Do your duty sincerely, speak gently, and keep your heart pure. I often personally feel in today's fast-paced and often very stressful life, Ma Sarada's ideals offer us a path of calm, clarity, and inner peace. She teaches us devotion is not limited to rituals. It is reflected in how we live and how we just treat each other. So with that said, being today's short, brief introductions, I would like to call my first speaker of today's program, Arpita Ghosh, with the brief introductions. So Arpita resides in Plainfield, Illinois. She is a mother of 7-year-old daughter, originally from Asansol, West Bengal, India. She works as a software engineer in TransUnion. She is also an active volunteer teacher with an organization called Chapter 1. And her hobbies are gardening, listening music, and painting. So we are pleased to have you with us, Arpita. Stage is all yours.
Urpita doesn't need it.
Thank you, Indrani, for that introduction.
It is too nice. It is too nice.
Pranam to Maan, Sarada, pranam to Sri Sri Thakur, pranam to Shamiji, and thank you, my dear friends. I'm really humbled and honored to speak here today in front of you about this self-control as manifested in the life of Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. So, Holy Mother teaches that self-control is not a rigid wall. It is gentle strength that keeps love radiant. This truth shines every phase of her life. Self-control for her was not suppression. It was transformation, a way to turn hardship into grace, attachment into instrumentality, and responsibility into spiritual service. Let us explore this through 3 defining chapters of her life. As per my understanding, I'll try to define it to the best of my knowledge and understanding. Her austere years in Kamarpukur, her deliberate attachment to Radhu, and her guiding hand in shaping the Ramakrishna order. Each of these moments reveals how self-control became the quiet force behind her greatness. In Kamarpukur, she led a life of silent heroism. After Sri Ramakrishna's passing, Holy Mother honored his wish to live in Kamarpukur, in the very mud cottage he had left her. The master had once said, "You will grow pot herbs, eat rice with greens, and call on Hori." And she did exactly that. Her life there was marked by extreme simplicity and privation. There were days when she boiled rice without even salt to flavor it. She never stretched her hand for money, recalling the master's counsel. Once you put forth your hand for a dime, you sell your head. That's what she remembered. This was not mere poverty. It was a conscious discipline, a refusal to compromise her independence or spiritual dignity. She kept up the worship of Raghuveer and Shitala with meticulous care, even when resources were scarce. Her diligence was astonishing, rising early, bathing in the village pond, cooking before noon so that offerings were never delayed. She bore the strain of household work, husking rice, boiling paddy, cooking for guests without complaint. When villagers criticized her for wearing ornaments, she endured their gossip silently until a spiritual explanation reassured her that widowhood did not apply to one who was Lakshmi herself. She resumed wearing her bracelets not out of vanity but to uphold the master's vision. This period tested her physically and emotionally. She faced loneliness, family indifference, and even social hostility. Yet, she never allowed bitterness to creep in. Her self-control was evident in her ability to adapt without surrendering her idols. She remained unperturbed when family quarrels swirled around her. And when deranged devotee chased her in the fit of madness, she stood firm, subdued him, and restored order. Kindness combined with courage. Kamarpukur ceased to be her permanent home later, but she continued to maintain its sanctity, funding repairs and reminding devotees to spend a night there to imbibe its holiness. In these years, self-control meant endurance without complaint, simplicity without self-pity, and unwavering fidelity to the master's wish. In another chapter of her life, we see her as a guiding force behind the Ramakrishna order. If Kamarpukur and Radhu revealed her self-control in personal life, her role in shaping the Ramakrishna order shows its grandeur in public life. In 1890 at Bodh Gaya, she saw the young monks, her sons, living without food, clothing, or shelter. Her heart ached, and she prayed to the Master, "May those who leave the world in your name may never be in want of bare subsistence. May they live together and solace the afflicted by speaking of you. That prayer became the seed of the monasteries we see today. Her guidance was firm yet tender. When an ashram head complained that the boys were disobedient because they found better food elsewhere, she replied, "Love is our forte." It is through love that the master's family has taken shape. She corrected authoritarianism, arranged nourishing food for ailing brahmacharis, and taught forbearance. Bear everything, he is there to judge. She balanced work and worship, saying, "Is it possible to make job and meditate all 24 hours? Do some useful work, it keeps the mind well." She urged monks to learn English to serve future devotees and warned them against pride. Outer garb is nothing, inner detachment is everything. That's what she said. Her decisions were practical yet deeply spiritual. When Swami Vivekananda sought her blessings to go to America, she hesitated until a dream showed the master walking over waves and beckoning him. Then she blessed him wholeheartedly, saying, "The master is protecting you. There is nothing to fear." She guided the preservation of the master's birthplace, ensuring that while monks managed the temple, family worship of Raghuveer and Shitala continued. Through all this, her self-control shone as impartiality, humility, and the ability to combine maternal love with uncompromising spiritual vision. Beyond these chapters, her entire life was a tapestry of restraint and grace. She rose before dawn for job or meditation, even at 3 in the morning, and continued her practice bedridden. Her words were always healing. When tempers flared in the kitchen, she said calmly, "Peace will not come by finding fault with others. Look to your own mistakes." When a devotee erred in ritual, she corrected without rebuke, turning mistakes into learning moments. Her compassion was boundless, yet never indulgent. During a festival in Jairampati, she supervised cooking and served hundreds despite illness, saying, "They have come from far away. How can I rest without feeding them?" She accepted gifts only to redirect them to the poor or the monastery, choosing simplicity for herself. In family disputes, she remained serene, reminding all that everything belongs to God. Even in the face of gossip and misunderstanding, she remained unmoved. People speak according to their nature, so why be disturbed? That's what she said. Her final message distills the essence of her self-control. If you want peace, do not look at the fault of others. Look at your own faults. Learn to make the world your own. No one is a stranger here. These words are not mere counsel. They are the fragrance of a life lived in perfect harmony between inner freedom and outer duty. Holy Mother teaches that self-control is not a rigid wall. It is a gentle strength that keeps love radiant. In Kamarpukur, it was endurance without complaint. In Radhu's story, it was acceptance without bondage. In the Ramakrishna order, it was authority without harshness. For us, it can begin with small acts, a minute of prayer, a kind word, a selfless deed. May her quiet courage guide her steps towards that ideal. Thank you.
Thank you, Arpita, for sharing such a meaningful and thoughtful perception about Holy Mother. So we will move to our next phase of program. I would like to call Mohua Sarkar. She is a prominent figure. She is owning a blogging channel, Bideshe Mohua, and she sings really well. So we would like to hear and listen her song. Mohua, stage is yours.
Good morning to you all. Today I am going to sing a Bengali devotional song for Mother Sri Sarada Devi. Ma achen ar ami achi, bhabna priyar achi ami. The English translation of this song goes like this. Mother is here and I am here. What have I to fear? I am the child of the Divine Mother. In her hands my life is clear. When darkness comes and shadows fall, she takes my hand so gently. My child, be brave. Her whisper calls, fills my heart with strength again. When storms arise and all paths fade, and I don't know where to go, Mother walks beside my steps. Her grace becomes my glow. When passion seeks entwine my way and try to pull me down, Mother lifts me in her arms and turns my fate around. Though I forget 1,000 times, she never forgets me once. Her love is so vast, her mercy is deep, a mother's boundless warmth. She is my Ma and I am hers. In her I live and rest. She guards my soul, she holds my word. In Mother I am blessed. Ma, চেনার আমি আছি, ভাবনা কি আর আছে আমার। মা চেনার আমি আছি, ভাবনা কি আর আছে আমার। আমি মায়ের হাতে খাই পড়ি, মা নিয়েছেন আমার ভার। মা চেনার আমি আছি, ভাবনা কি আর আছে আমার। ওরে সংসার পাকে ঘোর বিপাকে যখন দেখি অন্ধকার, সেই ঘোর আধারে মা আমারে, ঘোর আধারে মা আমারে বাণী শোনায় বারে বার। মা চেনার আমি আছি, ভাবনা কি আর আছে আমার। এসে ছয়জনাতে একই সাথে পথ ভুলায় যে বারে বার। ছয়জনাতে একই সাথে পথ ভুলায় যে বারে বার। সে বিপথ হতে ধরে হাতে, বিপথ হতে ধরে হাতে মা যে করেছে আছেন উদ্ধার, মা আছেন আর আমি আছি, ভাবনাতে আর আছে আমার। আমি ভুলেও থাকি তবু দেখি, ভুলেও না আমায় একটিবার। ভুলেও থাকি তবু দেখি, ভুলেও না আমায় একটিবার। এমন স্নেহের আধার মাঝে আমার, স্নেহের আধার কে আছে আর? আমি মায়ের মা আমার, মা আছেন আর আমি আছি, ভাবনাতে আর আছে আমার। আমি মায়ের হাতে খাই পড়ি, মায়ের হাতে খাই পড়ি, মানিয়েছেন আমার ধার। মা আছেন আর আমি আছি, ভাবনাতে আর আছে আমার, ভাবনাতে আর আছে আমার।
Well, thank you, Mahua. Such a nice devotional song. What a pleasure to have you here. Okay, so we are now moving to our next phase of program. Today we have Priti Gupta joining us. She is not from Illinois, outer state. She is from Detroit, more colder, I would say, but that is not stopping her to join us today. Priti, I would like to have a brief introduction about her. She is mother of 2 young daughters, living with her husband and 2 daughters. She is really active for all Vedanta society related activities in greater Detroit area. And what else? She is a disciple of Vivekananda ji. So we are eager to hear from you, Priti.
Thank you so much, Indrani.
Keep the mic close to you,
Oh,
and then little louder.
thank you for your kind introduction. I'll begin with Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadguru Padme Tayo Shikha Pranamami Guru. My most grateful pranams to revered Swami Ishatmananda Maharaj for inviting me to speak on this most auspicious occasion, and really for giving me the opportunity to dive deep into the study of Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi's divine life. And my most respectful pranams to you all. The topic given to me is austerity as manifested in the life of Ma Sarada Devi. Before I start, I would like to express my thanks to Swami Ishatmananda Ji Maharaj for his wonderful description of Holy Mother's life in his book, and many Swamis, including my Guru Maharaj, many Swamis of the Ramakrishna order who have helped me to understand the significance of Mother's life. And the little that I have understood, I present before you today. In Sanskrit, the word for austerity is tapas or tapasya. And many of us associate tapasya with rigorous spiritual practices, like standing on one leg for a long time or meditating for years in the cold. Hindu epics have many examples of such tapasya. And even today, many people practice austerities of various kinds to obtain the grace of God. In spiritual life, austerity is indispensable, since it helps to purify the body and mind and makes them fit for receiving God's grace. We find that most incarnations of God practiced austerities during their life, in order to fulfill their mission and also to set an example for us. But the life of Holy Mother seems quite ordinary in that respect. Swami Ishatmananda, a direct disciple of Holy Mother, points out, Sarada Devi did not outwardly practice austerities or observe rituals to the extent Sri Ramakrishna did. Her life was one of quiet prayer and meditation, and she never neglected the performance of her daily duties. She appeared to others more like a householder than a recluse or ascetic. Yet, the ocean of her spiritual experience was as bottomless as his. This shows that she was not just a saint or mystic, but like her husband, a manifestation of divinity. So it is only when we take a closer look, we find that her entire life was steeped in austerity or tapasya. But we see a more inward manifestation, which was reflected in her behavior and in everything that she did. From her childhood itself, she put up with all the suffering and hardship in life without complaint and even joyfully. She showed us that true austerity is having this state of mind, to accept everything in life, especially the unpleasant, as God's will, as God's grace, or as a result of one's own karma. This is called forbearance. And this was the austerity that Holy Mother practiced until the last day of her life. It is a divine quality, and the meaning of forbearance is expressed beautifully by Sri Shankaracharya in his Vivekananda, verse number 24 to be exact. Sahanam sarva dukkhana apratikara purvakam, bearing all suffering without resistance. Chinta vilap rahitam sa titiksha nigatyate, being free of anxiety or lament, complaining or grumbling, is called forbearance. So I would like to give 3 examples from Holy Mother's life that highlight this practice of forbearance. My first example is the one that Arpita has already detailed before us, but I'm looking at it from a different aspect. So Holy Mother moved to Kamarpukur about 1 year after Sri Ramakrishna passed away, and her time in Kamarpukur can truly be described as an ordeal. She faced extreme poverty and loneliness among other things. Swami Ishatmananda describes, Ramlal, as the head of the family, was obligated to take care of her, but he was indifferent and even a little hostile to Holy Mother. Holy Mother took shelter in her husband's, Sri Ramakrishna's hut. At 34 years old, for the first time in her life, Holy Mother began to live alone. Holy Mother had rice from the paddy fields, one of which had been bought by Sri Ramakrishna in the name of Raghu, the family deity. She husked that paddy to make rice. She was so poor that sometimes she could not even afford to buy salt. She grew some spinach and vegetables behind her hut, and whatever she cooked, she offered to Raghuveer, and then ate the prasad. She spent the remainder of her time chanting the Lord's name. Holy Mother had only a few saris, which gradually became worn out. Sometimes she patched the cloth or else closed the hole by tying a knot in the fabric. Holy Mother also faced criticism from the women in the village. The society had very strict rules for widows, and Holy Mother did not follow some of those rules by wearing bangles and not shaving her head, because Sri Ramakrishna had instructed her to do so. And what did Holy Mother do in this situation? Well, she did not tell anyone about her suffering and hardship. not even the master's monastic disciples or her own family members. She did not reach out to other devotees for help. She did not react or blame anyone or try to defend herself. When her own mother saw her dressed almost like a beggar woman and asked her to stay at Jeramati, Holy Mother refused her help, saying, "Let things shape themselves as God wills." So here Holy Mother shows us that a life of forbearance is a life of prayer and unconditional surrender to the Lord, and that it requires deep Shraddha or faith in Guru and God. Also, Viveka or discernment and detachment. It is a life in which one accepts everything as God's will, with the firm conviction that God is Sarva Mangala, all auspicious, and everything that happens is ultimately for our good. In this example, we see Holy Mother living more like a nun, but in the next example, we see her seemingly entangled in the problems of domestic life. Between 1889 and 1920, Holy Mother lived at Jeramati with several of her family members, just like an ordinary householder. She did a lot of the housework herself, like chopping vegetables and cooking, did the worship, and took care of her family, including raising her niece Radha. At the same time, she gave spiritual guidance to devotees, disciples, and sannyasis of the Ramakrishna order. So, a brief description of her family. She had 3 brothers who were greedy and quarrelsome. They were poor and always tried to get money from her. One sister-in-law of hers was insane. Her nieces were jealous of each other and quarreled very often. All of them combined to create a lot of trouble for Holy Mother. Holy Mother seemed extremely attached to Radhu and always kept her close. Radhu was fine as a child but became more difficult to deal with as she got older. She developed many physical and mental health problems, and no matter what Holy Mother did to help, her condition only became worse. She did not obey Holy Mother and even abused her physically. Once, Holy Mother and Radhu were sharing a bullock cart on their way to Jeramati. Suddenly, Radhu began to push Holy Mother with her feet and said, get away from here, get out of the car." Holy Mother moved to the back as much as she could and said, "If I move away, how then shall I practice all these austerities through you?" But Radhu picked her again, and the mother said, "What is it you have done, Radhu?" And she quickly took the dust off her own feet and touched it to Radhu's head. Holy Mother once said, "My son, forbearance is a great virtue. There is no other like it. One must be patient like the earth. What iniquities are being perpetrated on her? Yet she quietly endures them all. Man too should be like that." And this is just a small sample of what she could do. She could have easily lived with her devotees. But Holy Mother wanted to set the example of an ideal householder. That for the householder, austerity was to be practiced at home, which was to face all problems calmly and serve all family members cheerfully and sincerely, and also to think of God, to do japa and meditation regularly. Swami Vivekananda writes, "She thus taught the world how one could be burdened day and night with worldly responsibilities and at the same time lead a saintly life." Here she demonstrated that even the most humdrum duties of the world can be performed as spiritual acts. The third incident, very quickly, is the Panchatapa, the austerity of the 5 fires, performed by Holy Mother sometime in July 1893 at Nilamar Mukherjee's garden house, which is near the present-day Belur Math. For this, a thick layer of earth was laid down on the roof, and 4 blazing fires of dried cow dung cakes were lighted in a square, and the 5th fire actually was the blazing sun above. The Holy Mother describes this experience herself. "After a morning bath in the Ganges, I approached the fire and found the flames up. I was seized with a great fear, and I wondered how I could enter the area and remain seated until sunset. After repeating the Master's name, I entered. It felt as if they had lost their heat. I practiced this discipline for 7 days. As a result, my fair complexion became like black ashes." Many years later, she told a close disciple the real reason for doing this austerity.
She said, "My child, I went through it for the sake of all of you. Can you practice austerities? This is why I had to do it." In conclusion, I find that Holy Mother shows us a wonderful way to reconcile our spiritual and secular life, which seem diametrically opposite most of the time. She shows us that it is possible for us, especially householders, to live a life of austerity, while discharging all of our so-called worldly duties. She shows that forbearance is a twofold practice. We must accept everything cheerfully and also do our spiritual practices. Both are needed and help to strengthen each other. Together, they help us live an integrated life. She shows that we can practice austerity or forbearance anywhere, in any type of situation, even from a hospital bed. The beauty of this is that every adversity in our life now becomes an opportunity for practice. Every suffering, every disease, every difficult person and situation, and even grief and personal loss now become a time and place for austerity. And what do we get out of this? Does our suffering go away? Do our circumstances change? Well, they may or may not, but our quality of life definitely does, because we will transform. The problems in life lose their sting, as it were, and even become meaningful. We become stronger and happier and even grateful, more at peace with ourselves and everything in our life. And ultimately, it turns our lives into a beautiful yajna, a life of complete surrender to the Lord. I would like to end with these words of Holy Mother. One suffers as a result of one's own actions. So instead of blaming others for such sufferings, one should pray to the Lord and, depending entirely on His grace, try to bear them patiently and with forbearance under all circumstances. There is no treasure equal to contentment and no virtue equal to fortitude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Well, Devi, that is such a nice, I would say, manifestations and narrations, and that is relatable to many life lessons for all of us. So thank you for being with us today. So I think we should move to the next phase of our program. I know Swamiji is having a little bit of throat congestions issue today, but I think it is an opportunity for all of us to have him here and make us guiding through, like follow me with a devotional song. So I would humbly request Swamiji, please.
I was listening to the talks, the two of them, so wonderful. They had prepared, and the way they were, I think all of you are also getting that inspiration. The little something happened, immediately we become agitated. Why this, why that? And look at the mother's life. The mom, she is teaching us spiritual teaching, spiritual life, spiritual practice, and that is forbearance. The way the Priti she was mentioning, and we are hearing the life of Mother. So we have gathered over here to celebrate Holy Mother's Tithi Puja. And in that, what we are trying to learn, blessings, of course, some other blessings will be there, but what we learn from her, all the qualities. Religious life is nothing but the wonderful qualities. So let us now sing a song It is in the page 3. I mean, all of you must be having the paper. Page 3. The song. You got it? Page 3. বৈকুণ্ঠ হতে লক্ষ্মী এলো। As because all these excellent qualities that manifested in the life of Ma Sarada Devi, is she like us? No. God is herself. And that has been expressed in this song, that she came from the Vaikuntha, the abode of the Lord Vishnu and Krishna, that she is the power of God. Now, how the God work? In 5 ways. The first 3, Srishti, Sthiti and Pralaya. And second 2 is only by the grace or by punishment. These are the 2 other works that she does. And when the God's power is functioning, we accept it, take it as a lady, as a woman, as a mother. So that is the conception of the mother. Now the first 3, Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya is okay. We don't have anything to connect it with that. But when it is about the blessings and about the punishment, this time it is only blessings, no punishment. So that is the reason the God's power this time has become mother. She is Mahamaya, but now the God himself has made her mother, Ma. Now we will sing this song, please repeat after me. Very simple song. বৈকুণ্ঠ হতে লক্ষ্মী এলো, পৃথিবীর এই মাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, বৈকুণ্ঠ হতে লক্ষ্মী এলো, পৃথিবীর এই মাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে। গ্রামখানি যে ধন্য হলো, মায়ের চরণ ধুলিতে, গ্রামখানি যে ধন্য হলো, মায়ের চরণ ধুলিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে। 1268 পৌষ মায়ের আবির্ভাব, 1268 পৌষ মায়ের আবির্ভাব, মা এলো রে দূর করিতে, ত্রিতাপ শোকতা, মা এলো রে দূর করিতে, ত্রিতাপ শোকতা। দুঃখীর ঘরে জন্ম নিল, ভক্ত জন তারাতে, দুঃখীর ঘরে জন্ম নিল, ভক্ত জন তারাতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় পতি পেল জগৎ গুরু, রামকৃষ্ণ নাম, চরণে শরণে তার, मिले परम धाम गो, मिले परम धाम, पति पेलो जगत गुरु, राम कृष्ण नाम, चरणे शरणे तार, मिले परम धाम गो, मिले परम धाम। रामचंद्र पिता माए, श्यामा देवी माता, रामचंद्र पिता माए, What is the name of the mother? Father of the mother? Good. So sometimes people will be again touching. Ramchandra Pita Mai, Shama Devi Mata, Amodare Tire Elo, Jagotere Mata. There's a famous river, Damodar, but the mothers, the village, the small regulator is passing Amodar, not Da, Ah. But naturally people will know the Damodar. This is a Amodar. Ramchandra Pita Mae Shama Devi Mata, আমোদরে তীরে এলো, জগতের এই মাতা, মহামায়া এলো যে রে, ভক্তি প্রেম লীলাতে, মহামায়া এলো যে রে, ভক্তি প্রেম বিলাতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে, জয় রাম বাটিতে। Thank you. I usually sing a song over here every day. Now Nayana, you know many of you, Nayana. And she used to record from the back. I was not aware of it. Not from the front, from the back. But the songs came very good. Then it was sent to Calcutta and they put the music and all that, but I think without music would have been better. But anyway, they have given the... And now it is sailing. Of course, it is all Naina arranged it. I'm thankful to her. All the songs from the books she has written is now in the book form. And you can sing that those songs. Available now is here. The 30 songs, each song $1. So that is there. And why I want, because if you people learn those songs, it will be so easy for us. Because I went to Washington DC, a group of devotees, they sing so wonderful songs. And in many other places, they sing wonderful songs. Devotees are singing together wonderfully. So if you can learn, and maybe 15, 20 of you, it will be excellent. So you can try. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamiji. We feel blessed that we got the opportunity to sing along with you. Hello. Okay. So we do have our last speaker for today's program, Sarada Livingston. I know, Sarah, it was a bad drive for you, but finally we have you here. So little introduction about her. Sarada is a researcher and doctoral candidate in the anthropology of religion at University of Chicago. After completing her Fulbright fellowship in Kolkata, India, and in United Kingdom, she has been working as a research fellow supporting the Chicago Sacred Initiative at the Chicago History Museum. Thank you, Shara. We want to hear from you.
There's one thing you should announce. Sara knows Bengali.
Oh, that's a delightful thing for us. That's kind of such a, that's insane, I would say. Okay, Sarah, say it is yours.
বাংলা কথা বলতে বাংলায় জোরে 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 ভলিউম
আমি এই দুঃখিত একটু দেরি ছিলাম কিন্তু আমি খুব খুশি যে আমি এখানে এসেছি So today I'm here to speak with you about compassion as manifested in the life of Ma Sarada Devi. So good morning, afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much to Swami for your generous invitation to speak with you all today. Thank you, Shravani, for her kind facilitation. I want to speak about compassion as a living reality exemplified in the life of Ma Sarada Devi, the Holy Mother. Her life was a compassionate force, quiet, powerful, and transforming. I'll start with a quote from the Holy Mother. She said, "Can you call him a man who is devoid of compassion? He is a veritable beast. Sometimes I forget myself in compassion, and then I do not remember who I am." Compassion is often spoken of as an ethical virtue or as a spiritual ideal, but in the life of the Holy Mother, compassion was neither abstract nor theoretical. It was embodied, habitual, and transformative. Scholars and biographers consistently describe her compassion as central to her authority, her sanctity, and her enduring appeal. When devotees speak of Ma Sarada Devi, they speak of peace, tenderness, and unconditional care. Compassion was the very atmosphere in which she lived and moved. As one historian observes, Sarada Devi's holiness was not fashioned through renunciation or public teaching alone, but through a life of endurance, service, and moral responsibility quietly borne for others. Quote, "A relentless moral seriousness expressed through care, endurance, and emotional availability." So in this talk, I will explore how compassion manifested in the Holy Mother's life as maternal care, moral hospitality, emotional suffering with, and an inclusive spiritual authority. In other words, as a mother's care, a healer's presence, and a refuge for the weary. First, compassion rooted in ordinary life. The Holy Mother's compassion was shaped in a crucible of hardship. She was born into poverty. She experienced hunger and insecurity from a young age. Her formative years were marked by poverty, famine, and labor, conditions that developed a deep sensitivity to the hunger, fatigue, and vulnerability of others. Her early life involved much endurance, and this experience decisively shaped her later moral outlook. So, the earliest biography, The Compassionate Mother, describes how even as a young girl, she showed instinctive concern for those who suffered hunger and neglect, responding not with words but with action, feeding, serving, and comforting. This early biography emphasizes that the Holy Mother's compassion was habitual, expressed through feeding guests, tending the sick, and caring for dependents without discrimination. These acts were not framed as spiritual practices, They were understood as the natural duties of ones who felt deeply responsible for others. Her compassion was thus born of lived experience. One of the most distinctive features of her compassion is its maternal character. Motherhood itself became a spiritual path. One scholar argues that her authority rose not from the mother of a spiritual community or a spiritual family. Her compassion was therefore relational and not hierarchical. Devotees did not approach her as a remote teacher, but one who received them wholly. A biography published in 1940 emphasizes, quote, "Motherhood as being the fundamental principle of which her life and personality form a striking revelation. The expression of this quality in her was not restricted to her relationship with her disciples and relatives. It extended in a general sense to her attitude towards all. Her heart was very sensitive to the woes and sufferings of those around her, and as she herself said, she often lost herself in compassion. No one in distress went to her without being helped with food, cloth, or money, according to her capacity. She addressed devotees as children, responded to their anxieties with reassurance, and accepted emotional dependence without encouraging personal attachment. The Holy Mother's maternal stance created a form of spiritual authority that was deeply affective but non-coercive. She consistently addressed devotees as her children, accepted responsibility for their inner struggles, regardless of their own moral conditions. Importantly, this maternal compassion was not limited to the morally exemplary. The Holy Mother repeatedly affirmed that she accepted responsibility for both the virtuous and the immoral. There's a record of her insistence that a mother never rejects a child for faults. Rather, the more fallen the child, the greater the claim upon her love. This was a compassion that was without judgment and a love without precondition. Her compassion knew no barriers of caste, class, or education. She consistently crossed social boundaries, and biographers repeatedly emphasize her refusal to treat people differently based on their social status or background. It's noted that she extended the same attention and courtesy to household servants, to village women, monks, and educated urban devotees alike. This is not articulated as a social reform in a modern sense, but as a moral instinct. Sen, one historian, points out that the Holy Mother's inclusivity stemmed less from an ideological critique and more from a refusal to recognize a spiritual hierarchy among human beings. She did not consciously set out to reform social structures, but she refused to recognize the spiritual inequality among human beings, and thus her compassion functioned as a quiet but powerful challenge to entrenched norms. To sit before her was to feel equally seen, and her compassion quietly dissolved boundaries that ideology could not. Perhaps the most striking dimension of her compassion was her willingness to absorb the emotional suffering of others. Multiple biographers recount her readiness to listen to personal grief, anxiety, and moral despair without judgment or dismissal. There are records of numerous instances in which devotees felt that merely placing their grief before her lightened their burden, even when she offered no explicit counsel. She understood a mother's role as one who silently absorbs the pain of her children. Citing one biography, kind of a long quote, the physical sufferings that she had to undergo in life due to illness were of a vicarious nature, being the effects of the sins that she had taken from her disciples. And there are other incontrovertible facts of her life that show that such powers were present in her. Often her disciples saw how she suffered from a burning sensation due to the indiscriminate touch of people. But when she spoke of her suffering to any, she would add, "But don't tell it to Sarada. Then he will stop people from coming." So compassionate was she that in spite of her suffering, she did not like to deprive others of the satisfaction and relief they derived from her contact. In the light of this indubitable fact, it is intelligible how she could vicariously suffer for her disciples. Indeed, prompted by that motherly love for all, she considered it her proud privilege to suffer for others. When a disciple once hesitated to touch her feet, thinking it would cause her suffering, she said, quote, "No, my child, we are born for this purpose. If we do not accept others' sins and sorrows and do not assimilate these, who else will do so? Who else will bear the responsibilities of the sinners and the afflicted?" It's her belief that a mother naturally takes upon herself the burdens of her children, even when those burdens are psychological or moral rather than physical. Compassion in this sense was a shared vulnerability. This could be interpreted as a form of lived compassion, one in which liberation is nurtured within the bounds of care rather than a solitary striving, the theology of lived compassion. So she enacted the idea that liberation is not pursued alone, but within networks of care and responsibility. Despite growing reverence for her as a spiritual figure, as humility performed for others to see, but as a natural expression of love. Vivekananda emphasizes that she resisted any attempt to separate her from ordinary responsibilities. It wasn't a symbolic humility, it was a practical expression of compassion. This refusal to withdraw from everyday labor reinforced her moral authority, demonstrating that sanctity did not entail separation from the needs of others. This refusal to separate holiness from daily labor gave her compassion an extraordinary credibility. It sanctified ordinary life. So compassion as a source of authority. To quote from a biography from 1940, there's a section titled, "A True Guru Initiates Only Out of Compassion." Disciple, quote, "You initiate the devotees because you desire to do so, Mother." "No, I do so out of compassion. They won't leave me, they weep. I feel compassion for them. Out of kindness, I give them initiation. Besides, what do I mean by it? When I initiate devotees, I have to accept their sins. Then I think, well, this body will die anyway. Let them realize the truth." Many of her Western devotees were drawn less by philosophical instruction than by the experience of an unconditional acceptance in her presence. And thus, her authority is one rooted in care rather than command, and in trust. Her compassion generated this trust, and it made spiritual guidance possible. And people followed her guidance because they felt held by her love. In conclusion, as a person who loves and looks after animals myself, I am touched by Ma Sarada Devi's model of compassion towards animals too, as exemplified in this account in the 1940 biography by the Ramakrishna Order. Quote, "The disciple was seated for his midday meal. Radhu's mother arranged a leaf plate and a glass of water in the veranda of her house for another guest. A cat took a little water out of the glass, so Radhu's mother changed the water. The cat again took some of the water. Again, she changed the water. So for the third time, the cat drank of the water, and Radhu's mother chased it and screamed, 'You rogue, you bird-faced cat, I will kill you.' It was the hot season. The Holy Mother was there. She said, 'No, you must not stop the thirsty animal. Besides, the cat has already touched the water.' At this, Radhu's mother shouted in anger, 'You don't have to become compassionate towards the cat. You have shown enough compassion towards man. Why not reserve your kindness for man?' The mother said in a serious voice, He is unfortunate indeed who does not gain my compassion. I do not know anyone, not even an insect, for whom I do not feel compassion." She looked upon herself as the mother of all beings, including animals and birds, and spent her life serving them in unending sacrifice. She had cats as companions and cared for a sandalwood bird as if it were her own daughter. She treated them all with a deep compassion and service, and famously once told the devotee, "I live inside the cat too," viewing their actions as part of their nature, or dharma, while teaching respect and care for them as her own children, emphasizing that the divine dwells in every creature. She expressed her universal motherhood through selfless service, feeding animals, as feeding humans, caring for stray cats, grieving their loss, and reinforcing the principle thus that all life is divine and interconnected. And so, through all of the sources that I have read and considered, biographical, historical, and theological, the consistent picture emerges of compassion as a motivating and organizing principle of the Holy Mother's life, expressed through habitual care, shaped by her early hardship, through maternal responsibility that embraced all regardless of merit, through emotional participation in the suffering of others, through inclusive, non-hierarchical relationships, and through a lifelong service embedded in daily life and compassionate care for all creatures. Her compassion shaped spiritual authority, redefined holiness, and continues to draw many across cultures and generations. In her life, compassion was a mode of being and a true force that transformed ordinary acts into an enduring spiritual presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. So, we are at the last phase of our program today. To conclude, I would like to extend my thank you note to all the speakers, Swamiji, and each one of you for attending today's celebrations. Let us carry Ma Sarada's virtues in our daily life, compassion in our actions, truth in our words, and dedications in our responsibilities. Ma Sarada's blessings guide us towards strength, harmony, and life filled with purpose. Thank you all. Namaskar. At the last, Swamiji would like to felicitate all our respected speakers. So I would like to call Arpita first, Arpita Ghosh, and others like Priti Gupta and Sarah. Why don't you guys come forward? Once again, I humbly share my namaskar and thank you.
Priti. Indrani. now that our Prasad Bhoga is over, I think after some time, Swamiji's puja is going on. 5 minutes. Then after that it will be our Pushpanjali and we'll have the Prasad. So let us sing another song in the meantime together. So if you can come over here, take the photo. Come. Thank you.
Look at the camera, look at the camera.
Thank you. So, I'm sorry for this little sudden thought that has come. Yesterday I couldn't sleep because of this. It was going on reminding the body is there. You cannot go beyond body. So we will sing this song. Please repeat after me. Jayo Jayo Janani. This is the page 4. Jayo Jayo Janani. Jayo Sri Sarada Mani. Karuna Rupini Jayo Ma. Jayo Jayo Janani. Jayo Sri Sarada Mani. Karuna Rupini Jayo Ma. You're the embodiment of Karuna, compassion. Adya Shakti. Parama Prakriti. Asharana Gati Tumi. Ma. Asharana Gati Tumi. Ma. We believe that there's an intelligence and also the power. But for the creation, these two are necessary. Unless you have the knowledge, you have the intellect, and at the same time, you are having the capacity to work, nothing can be done. So this Adya Shakti is the primal power of God. God is the intellect and God's power is Adya Shakti. In the Vedanta they say it is one with God. But in Tantra it says it's separate from God. And that is Adya Shakti. Parama Prakriti. Parama means higher. Above that nothing can be. That at Prakriti, the Maya is also called as Prakriti. Adya Shakti. Parama Prakriti. Now these two power, Asharana Gati, those who cannot do anything, you are the only refuge. Asharana Gati Tumi Ma. Asharana Gati Tumi Ma. Jayo Jagatarini. Bhava Bhayo Harini. Durgati Nibarini Ma. Bhava Bhayo Harini. Bhava means this world, this universe. Bhaya, why Bhaya? Bhaya means fear. Why fear? Because again and again taking birth, again and again dying. We are taking birth in different forms, in different times, in different places, and dying and every time suffering. So that fear will go away and we will get the mukti. That's why it says, Jaya Jagatari, Bhaya Bhavaharini, Durgati Nibarini Ma. According to our karma, we get our gati. Gati means our destination. So suppose we are whole time doing bad type of things, criticizing others, complaining about others, doing harm to others, and all this type of work that we do. And what will be the gati? Below. Below means maybe as a bird, if you become a bird, I will feed you. Because it will not be. So, like that. I don't know, I will become a bird also. So this is the way you will go down, and in the bird's life, animal's life, and sometimes reptiles, and sometimes stone also. Those who are really, really bad people, they go back to that life. And it's a very difficult life. So it is Nibarini, the mother is protecting from that type of Durgati. Durgati means downward the force. That mother is saving us. Jaya Jaya Janani, Jaya Sri Sarada Mani, Karuna Rupini Jaya Ma. Siddhi Pradayini, Mukti Vidhayini. The two types are Siddhi, success. I want money, I want success, mother will give it. And if you want mukti, liberation from all this, that also mother can give. So that is why Ma Kali, on the right hand side, that is for all the worldly things that you want, the prosperity, success, the right hand side of the mother, Dakshina Kali. But the left side of the mother, Mukti. That's why the sword is there. And that is called Vama Kali. Siddhi Pradayini, Mukti Vidhayini, Jiva Gati Dayini, Ma. Jiva Gati Dayini, Ma. Jaya Jaya Janani, Jaya Sri Sarada Mani, Karuna Rupini Jaya Ma. Durjana Sajjana, Santana Aganana, Durjana Sajjana, Santana Aganana, Palana Karini Ma. This is the beauty of the Hinduism. They never deny that God is only good. They never from the bad king. Mother from God only. So the mother is the mother of Durjana, those who are bad, and the Sajjana, also good. So both are mother's children, Durjana, Sajjana. Santana, Aganana. You cannot count so many disciples, everything is mother's creation. When the mother used to tell, all these children, the people that you see, are my children. Then the animals are my children. Birds are my children. Then one brahmachari asked. Then about Sri Ramakrishna, who is Sri Ramakrishna? Mother never said my husband. You know what the reply? My child. The mother's that, my child. So Sri Ramakrishna also. So Durjana Sajjana Santana Aganana Palana Karini Ma Palana Karini Ma Jaya Saradeshwari Sita Radha Mata Meri Yashodhara Vishnu Priya Ma. And different forms, the same power is manifesting. As a different form, the God, that intellect is manifesting. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself said, Jai Ram, Jai Krishna, Idanim Eisharire Ramakrishna. The same power manifesting as Rama, manifesting as Krishna. Then Master Masha, the recorder of his conversation, he asked and said, are you the same Jesus or Chaitanya? Yes, Sri Ramakrishna said. And when Sri Ramakrishna says, means not like the ordinary person. He never could say I. And that person is telling, yes, the same power took a tip over here and went over there and got up, became Jesus. And again came back over here, became Chaitanya. The same power is here as Sri Ramakrishna. So that is the same power manifesting, and the power, again, the working power also. Jayam Saradeshwari Sita Radha Mata Meri Yashodhara Vishnu Priya Ma. Vishnu Priya is the wife of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishnu Priya. Yuga Deva Vandita Suranara Sevita. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the Yuga Devata, worshipped Ma Sarada Devi. When in the Dakshinesha, the Sharashi Puja. Yuga Deva Vandita Suranara Sevita. Sura means the God and the divine people. They used to worship. Swami Vivekananda used to go and worship Ma Sarada Devi. And when Swamiji was coming second time to the Europe, mother was in Calcutta, Puja. Swamiji went to take the blessings. Then the mother said, won't you go and meet your mother? Because Swamiji's, the biological mother, was very close in Calcutta. Then the Swamiji said, Mother, you are my only mother. I don't have any second one. So these are the only mother. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna worshipped. And all the gods like Vivekananda, Brahmananda worshipped. And Nara, the human being, of course they worshipped. The one drunkard was there. And everybody used to hate him. Then at about midnight he will come and go on knocking the door, and I have something to tell you at 2 o'clock in the night. So everybody used to shun him and go out. That drunkard heard that mother is here in Babaja. He came and he found the door is closed. He sat on the street and started singing. How becoming a mother you are sleeping inside the room and keeping the son outside the room? And there's a beautiful song, I have forgotten those lines. And he sang that song. Mother opened the window and looked to him. And he was then complaining. The Saradananda ji, who was in charge of that, the Saradananda is closed the door. You have not closed, I know that. Saradananda replaying. Then he told Mother, now it is very night, you go and take rest. I'm going back. He started singing and going back. She was the mother of everyone. Jugo Deva Vandita Suronara Sevita Namo Narayani Namo Narayani Now we sing together. Jaya Jaya Janani Jaya Sri Saradamani Karuna Rupini Jaya Ma. Mother said, whoever will call me as mother, only Ma, and my blessings will be always with them. So only this Ma has become the mantra. Just go on chanting Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, as long as the Arati goes. And today I will touch every one of you the holy relics of Ma Ishatmananda Devi. जय महामाई की जय भगवान श्री राम कृष्ण देव की जय महामाई की जय स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय गंगा माई की। Now I will say this our Pushpanjali mantra. You have to receive Pushpa and repeat after me 3 times. Om Oim Hrim Esha Shachandana Pushpanjali Sarvadeva Devi Sarupinnai Sri Sarada Devi Namaha Om Oim Hrim Esha Shachandana Pushpanjali Sarvadeva Devi Sarupinnai Sri Sarada Devi Namaha Om Oim Hrim Esha Shachandana Pushpanjali Sarvadeva Devi Sarupinnai Sri Sarada Devi Namaha. Now the pranam mantra also. Jananim Saradam Devim Rama Krishnam Jagat Gurum Pad Padme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhur Muhur. Jai Ma. Now you can slowly go and offer your flower and prayer. But before that, friends, I'd like to just announce one thing, that we have published this calendar for Vivekananda Vedanta Society 2026. All the programs are there. And at the same time, here you will find we have followed the Ganga this time as a theme. Right from the Gangotri up to the Ganga Sagar, we are that Ganga flowing, and we are going along with the Ganga and all the famous cities. And here you will find some quotations from the Upanishad, also from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. So if you like to preserve this, please collect it. I will be sitting over here. If you are interested, please come.